There is something precarious about having the power to change the future with the drop of a mirror, or waiting for something bad to happen because everyone knows bad things happen in threes. With Halloween just around the corner, you might find your senses are heightened and you notice things like the black cat that crosses your path, or the fact that you walked under the ladder left outside your house. Superstitions are very powerful, but not because of a mystical source. Much rather, it's the mind of the participant. Superstitions are rituals or habits based off of irrational thoughts that are believed to have an effect on the participant in situations outside of their control. By the end of my speech, everyone should have a better understanding of some of the psychology behind superstitions to see who really is in control. In Rebecca Moore's study conducted in 2014, she used common rituals read by the News readers to see what superstitions they do or do not follow. It was found that only 38.8% of readers believed that finding a penny is good luck. 49.5% would walk under a ladder right now because they don't feel that it's unlucky or bringing of bad news. And shockingly enough, 62.4% didn't feel it was bad luck to see a bride in her wedding gown before they are married. I was born in October on the 13th. I celebrated my 13th birthday on Friday the 13th. Superstitions have always been a part of my life. But that curiosity led to me studying psychology to figure out why people think the way they do and why we think superstitions work, even though we know there's no evidence other than coincidences to prove otherwise. Harada and Hunter in 2012 were quoted saying that superstitions are based on flaws, casualties, where rationality and reasoning have been abandoned. Superstitions can be found everywhere, but one of the most common occurrences is with devoted sports fans. Hammerman and Johar in 2013 stated that conditioned superstitions happen at a conscious level. What this means is when you are watching your favorite sports team and they haven't won a game yet, and they win their first game, you might connect that with the fact you're wearing a brand new jersey that you purchased that day. Next week, when they're playing again, and you're wearing your jersey again, and they win again, this becomes a reinforced, conditioned superstition. But this is a harmless ritual. What happens when superstitions become overwhelming and associated with fear and anxiety? In Wang's article, Does Superstitions Help? A study of the role of superstitions in death beliefs on death anxiety amongst Chinese undergraduates in Hong Kong, 2012, a study was conducted to determine if there was any relationship between superstitions and fears of death and death anxiety. His findings were shocking. He found that people believed in and participated superstitions tended to have a much higher anxiety and more fears of dying. With this being known, it's not highly likely that taking part in superstitions actually provides relief. In fact, it seems to be the manifestations of our fears and anxieties. Marquise and Lobato, 2012, authors of Conceptual and Experimental Directions for Analyzing Superstition and Behavioral Analysis of Culture, bring up the idea that superstitions can appear to be factual at times because they give an illusion of control, and they are based primarily on a distortion of reality. In the world of psychology, the use of overwhelming rituals and superstitions would be handled by a behavioral therapist, and possibly categorized as obsessive-compulsive disorder. This suggests that superstitions are learned. They are conditioned behaviors that provide a person with a false sense of security. A patient may believe that the way they arrange things on their desk can potentially prevent the death of a loved one, even though they know this is completely irrational. The reason that superstitions continue to exist is due to the conscious acknowledgement that they have no effect on your life, but the fear that they just might be true. It is important to realize that your participation in superstitions rituals are not a bad thing, unless the actions begin to overtake your life. Superstitions can only have the power that you give them. They're based on irrational thoughts, which often surround concepts that are inevitable or out of our control. Superstitions should be fun, but when they become a nuisance, remember, your brain is in control and the only true power at play. So for the meantime, it's still safe to wear your lucky jersey, pick up a penny, and repeat Rabbit Rabbit on the 1st of the month. Good luck.